Hey everybody, today I'm bleeding the brakes on my Outback, Subaru Outback. Right now I've got this vacuum brake bleeder. I'm excited to use it. I'm just trying it out. So I got it hooked up to air. I've got this tube hooked up. The first thing is remove a lot of the fluid from the master cylinder. So I'm gonna start this up, and hopefully I can do this with one hand and not get brake fluid everywhere. I'm gonna turn this on and it should suck a lot of the fluid out. And there it goes. And then filling up the reservoir. I'm just going to remove some of the brake fluid. And then I'll show you the next step, which is to we're going to top it off with a reservoir that's going to sit in here while I'm bleeding the brake lines. All right, getting kind of low. Oh, there we go. We got bubbles. So I'm going to stop. Take this out, try not to get fluid. Okay, now I'll see you at the, well, actually I'm gonna hook up the reservoir, I'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna put some brake fluid into this reservoir, and then this gets clipped, or, you know, whatever that is. Yeah, we'll say clipped, onto the master cylinder. So I've got this reservoir full with brake fluid, and I can just leave extra brake fluid in here if I don't use this for this job. I probably won't use all this, but I have to do a couple other cars, so I'll just leave that in there. It does have a valve here, which you can remain closed, right, while you're getting this put in. My only criticism is that this doesn't really hold it in place. It just pulls it over to the side. So I've just got this kind of balanced right here. I mean, I don't know how that clip is supposed to actually clamp it in place. That is, I would say that this is not a good design. So I'm just gonna set it here and hope it doesn't fall over. I don't think it'll fall over. It seems to be pretty well balanced, but you can see that it filled this up with fresh fluid, and then as I pull fluid back to the rear of the car, this will just keep filling, so you don't have to worry about topping it off. So let's go to the back and start over there. Okay, this is just what I pulled out of the master cylinder. And before I get this going, I'll just show you how it's set up. I've got this suction hose hooked up to the bleeder nipple. I've got my 10mm wrench. I'm gonna start, it says to start the suction. And there's a little tab you put, and then you loosen this. I'm gonna get this loose and be back in a second because I don't want to do this with one hand. Okay, we got it going. I know it's hard to see, but there is actually fluid coming out. It actually looks pretty clean, but I'm just gonna leave this here for a minute. And of course we're starting to bleed in the rear passenger side, farthest away from the master cylinder. I'll just let a little bit come out. It looks pretty good, but I know this has not been bled in quite a while, so just gonna let that do its thing for a minute. Let's go check in the front. So one thing I could do is monitor. I know it's hard to see, but the line is about here. So I'll be able to see how much fluid is being sucked down. I can hear it bubbling a little bit here as it's pulling new fluid in. You know, maybe go for like a, I don't know, 100 milliliters or 200 milliliters, something like a half a cup-ish. All right, we're on the driver's side now. I've got this wide open, and I'm still getting, I don't know if you can see that. See all this? I'm still getting a lot of air in the line. So my only criticism of this system, and maybe I'm not doing it right, is that you can't really tell if there's air in the system or not. I guess I could just let gravity, I could just do a gravity check, you know, and see if there's any air. But I think this thing introduces a lot of air in this setup over here, so you can't really tell, you know, if there's actually air in your brake line. You'd have to do that a different way. The good thing is the fluid looks really clean. So maybe it was pretty good shape, but anyway, I'm just gonna let this bleed a little bit more fluid, and then we'll wrap up this video because I'm not doing the front right now. So just doing the back. So we'll let this go a little bit longer. Here we are back at the front. You can see it's maybe gone down, you know, from here to here. So I'm not using that much fluid, but I just wanted to be on the safe side because, you know, you definitely don't want to run out of fluid up here. Otherwise you got big troubles, because then you get air in the lines and you got to bleed it all out. So you're kind of wasting fluid if that happens. So what I'm going to do to wrap this up, I'm just going to let that go a little bit longer. And then of course I will stop that, seal that up. And then to take this off, of course, close the valve first. And then just pull this out. I'll put these back in, and that'll be it. All right, folks, we're back together up here. Nice clean fluid up here. I still have some left in the reservoir, which, like I said, I still have to do the fronts, and I got to get into a couple other cars. So I'll just keep that in there. Here's all the fluid I took out. Not a whole lot, just a little. But certainly when you compare it with this, looks like it needed it. Okay, that's it. So my only criticism, this all works great. My only observation, and maybe I'm doing it wrong, is that I think this little sucker, and I mean that literally, I think it introduces air, so it's hard to tell if you've got air in your lines or not. But still, super easy, one-person job. You can actually, it's a no-person job. Once you get started, you don't have to do anything except just sort of monitor it. So it's good. Hope you liked it. See you later.